serving history galore. Oh! 3, 2, pour it up, let's raise a glass tonight.
Oh, that's a twofer.
No, that was actually.
Is that a three?
Yeah.
It's a threesome.
Ooh.
Menage a trois. Let's go.
There's 5 of us here.
Just a straight up order. I guess I came late.
Yeah, that. Oh, no. No. So, all right. Hey, all. Welcome back to Drinks First, Questions Later with Tommy, Ike, David, Mike. And tonight we're going to be coming with a new guest host, and this is Nick. Nick, do you want to tell the people about yourself real quick?
So I'm Nick. I am a sales representative for a distillery in Newburgh, Oregon. And so these gentlemen were nice enough to invite me on the show because we make a few different gins and I might have a thing or two to say about it. So here we are.
I love that. I love that you call this gentleman.
Absolutely.
We're homies.
Hold on.
We're homies.
Hold on. Did he say gentleman?
Gentlemen. Yeah.
Man.
The gentlest.
It's just going to get worse from here.
Light touches.
Yeah. Well,
Let's start with what we're drinking. David,
Yeah.
what are you having?
my glass is empty.
Mine is 2.
This is a regularly occurring problem.
Damn
Did
it.
you bring me gin?
No, you know what we did?
Well, there's nothing like a good gin conversation and a glass of whiskey,
well,
Yeah, like last time.
yeah.
right?
Let's give you
Let's just, let's sip that. You know, that's actually pretty
Oh,
good.
actually.
That's pretty good because we are doing a
pour for everyone.
we are doing a
Talking
gin
gin.
Did
episode.
Michael want some?
Absolutely, he does.
Thank you, dude.
Here, give a little
Yeah, for sure, Mike. Passing the gin your way.
I think this is the first time we're actually drinking the spirit we're talking about.
That's probably the move, right?
That's
That's funny.
first time ever.
So we
Nick.
have literally had whiskey in our glass every episode.
It's a theme.
Nick,
We're doing
thank
something
you,
different
thank
today.
you.
We're gonna drink some gin.
Yeah, let's
and
cheers,
talk
guys.
about it.
Drinks first.
Questions later. Cilantro.
Salute.
So launch.
Fun fact.
Ah, got it.
We have a sound
Made me
alarm
laugh
now.
while swallowing.
For those of you who can't see, we do have a timer over here, and Ike has rigged this now to have huge letters going over with little siren alarms.
Hold on, I'm going to turn the siren up for one button press just so they can hear what we're
Tommy,
talking about.
yeah.
can you point your live at the
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, show
and
yeah,
them
people.
Hold on,
what
hold
it
on.
does?
Boom.
It's gonna be loud this time.
That's what it does.
Pan back.
Where's that light? Wait, do it. Just light. There it is. There it is.
There goes. Now I gotta
Yeah.
turn that down a little bit.
Fuck, this is really good. I really like it.
Dude,
Gin is great.
You know, I forgot how it tasted. Can I get another? No, serious. Because I was laughing.
This is why we're here.
Oh yeah,
I was
I've got the
laughing
bottle. I'm
while-
stupid.
I'll pay for a replacement bottle.
That's good.
Oh, work.
Here's a fun fact. Gin was my
He said it.
first love.
Are we
That makes
doing the
two.
siren for everyone saying
I'm gonna
that?
turn the siren off for the next one.
I am not going to include a counter again.
Did you do it on the last one?
Oh yeah, I absolutely did.
No, actually, yes, he did. And we should put another counter for how many times that red light goes on.
That's
Not
two.
the siren. But my guess, because I guessed it almost correctly, right, last time.
Yeah.
My guess is 12 times.
Are we doing an over
It
under on
was
this?
exactly 12 times for the whole episode.
No, like for this one.
Oh, okay.
With the light.
You're guessing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, for those of you watching, we do go live on some of our social media accounts prior to the episode. So if you guys want to hang out for a bit, say hey, or drop a fact, a boring fact, a minorly, a frivolous fact. Playful. I like that.
Playful.
Yeah. Join our live stream. Go follow us. It's at D1Q2 pod on most social medias. But yeah, we can also, you just go to our website, d1q2.com, and we have a forum
forum.
It's not a forum, it's a form.
It's a forum.
A forum? No, a forum is different than a form. You added a form. A forum is a message board that people go to and talk. A form is what you fill out and send to somebody.
We have a form. It's
Fun
not
fact,
a
it's a
forum.
form.
It's a fun fact. It's a very fun fact. Yeah. So now that my glass is empty again,
Yes.
and this is drinks first, questions later.
Yes, so-
Can we? Oh,
gonna-
there's more gin in here.
It's clear. See, this
That was
is
invisible.
I know. This is the thing about gin.
Okay.
I got a piece
I
of
mean,
it.
It on you. It's just that good.
It's really good. That gin is really fun.
Now it's really invisible.
Let's just talk about this gin real quick because holy hell, man, it's delicious.
Yeah, so-
Light floral.
Well,
Yes. So
before you do that, I just wanted to give you an intro. So Nick works at my favorite frigging winery, or one of my favorite wineries. I can't,
You can't
say
have a favorite winery.
There's so many around here.
900.
But
It just in the Willamette Valley.
Yeah, just-
It's hard to pick a favorite.
Trisaetum is awesome. They make really cool Pinot Noirs, Chardonnays, those are Riesling too. Bubbles.
You name it, we do it.
Yeah, but
gin.
I got the opportunity to go while Nick was there, and there's this super cool, like, it looks like a shed. It looks like you think it's just a shed out in like.
We call it a cottage, but sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a cottage, but it looks like at one point it was a shed. I walk inside and you're like, it's the nicest dang like speakeasy lounge area. Like I felt like there's stained glass windows around.
There's a stained glass window.
And a super classy bar.
How far is it from?
15 minutes.
Do
from
a
where
quick
we're
Google
sitting.
search. Look up Trisaetum or Brixeur's tasting room. It's beautiful.
I think that should be our next outing.
David.
Anyways, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, we'll make it happen.
Now say what you're gonna say.
Yeah, so gin. So Brixeur Spirits, as David touched on, we are a winery first and foremost, so we're independently owned and operated. Our founding owner and winemaker, one and the same, him, his daughter, her fiance, started distilling specifically with the intention on making gin, as it's one of the favorite spirits amongst our distilling team, winemaking team at the time. And so they got really good at it and decided that they wanted to full on launch into spirits. And we now make 5 different gins. So we have several different styles of gin, as we're going to touch on this evening, and as they probably touched on in the last episode. There's a lot of styles of gin out there. It really runs the gamut. It's one of the most versatile spirits that there are, which is why I think it's one of the most interesting spirits that there are. And that's why I'm here talking about it today. So in any event, that's one of 5 gins that we do. We call the Willamette Valley Gin, as Tommy touched on. It's got a lot of floral, a lot of citrus, trying to showcase some of the bounty of this area with this spirit. Some blackberries, something that are commonly found here, hazelnuts, lavender, some bent juniper. Now, if we used exclusively bent juniper, that's the only thing you taste in this gin. So there's just a touch in there.
I did taste some Bend in there.
Yeah, you definitely when you're driving through Bend, it just smells of juniper. It's juniper and pine. That's what you get. So in any event, a little bit of old growth Douglas fir needle in here. So really just kind of showcasing some of what Oregon and the Valley in particular has to offer. So. With that, yeah, a little bit more on the floral citrus side. It is the driest gin that we do. We can get into dry gin, but it's got the fewest botanicals of any of the gins that we craft. So really just showcasing some of that fruit, some of the floral.
I just want to touch on dry gin. I drank a lot of London Dry last night, and I woke up with a London Dry accent.
Oh my gosh.
It'll do that. Jesus. It'll do that.
What are the botanicals that you
We don't have to.
In this gin?
Yes.
Yeah, so what you're getting mostly here is lavender, a little bit of coriander seeds, sage, old ghost Douglas fir needles, hazelnuts, blackberries, but there's 17 in total. But I think what really comes through are more of the floral and the citrus and less of like the spices or the nut. Yeah, it's a really well-crafted gin.
Mind if
When I ran into you at the Wednesday market, it was we sampled it. could not.
It is award-winning.
believe it.
We
It was-
submitted it
it
to
was
Gin
so
Masters
smooth.
of London. If you know anything about the Brits, they love their gin over there. So submitted it to an international gin competition in London. Came away with the gold medal, which is pretty cool.
Jeez,
Yeah.
seriously.
Really
Yeah.
Sorry, I accidentally overreported.
No, you're good, man. It's here to share.
So yeah,
Well, then let's
God damn it.
There you have it. Here we
ask
have it.
questions
Well,
later.
Drink first and ask questions later. I'm here all evening.
are we just
at least
doing
for the
this?
next
Okay,
50
because I was gonna get some whiskey, but
What's a whiskey?
Like,
Oh,
no.
no, then we can get after it. It's
go.
gin night, y'all.
My glass is stained with the
The whiskey. Yeah.
effervescence of this
Effervescence. Good word.
beautiful,
Good word. Good word.
beautiful gin.
Can I ask a weird, like not a weird question, but just a question to you? So, as Mike was saying, Nick does like pop-up events where he goes and represents Brixeur, and he goes and just samples out vodkas, whiskeys, and gins.
Yeah, correct.
So, as a bartender, and Tommy, I'm curious about your opinion on this. I feel like whenever I tell, like, I feel like a majority of the people that I try to like talk into a cocktail or make a suggestion to usually hate gin. I feel like a lot of people hate gin, and it's like,
I'm very
maybe-
glad you brought this up. 'Cause
like, is that the same for you?
it is the most polarizing spirit that there is.
Next
To like,
You know,
next to
why?
like Hedy Amaro's.
No, it's the bad first impression. they
Yeah,
had.
for a lot of people,
Yeah.
or a certain
Yeah.
demographic, that's all they had exposure to, so they
Yeah.
got
They
shit
got tired
drunk
of
on
it,
it.
Well, yeah, a lot
And
of-
it's not something you want to get sick on, so that'll make them not go back to gin for 30, 40, forever years.
A lot of people will start with like the cheap gin, and then they're like, that's all they know is cheap gin. It's kind of like with me with tequila. Like I hated tequila, but then everybody's like, you just haven't had the right tequila.
Yeah.
Well, I've had plenty of tequilas, but then I have the right tequila, and within the last like month and a half, I've had more tequila than I've ever had my entire
Yeah.
goddamn life.
Yeah.
I'd say week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For me. You know.
Yeah, gin is just so polarizing, and I think that's because most people's exposure to gin are those drier, more juniper-forward gins. And I tell people all the time, just because you don't like the taste of juniper doesn't mean you don't like gin. It's a very specific category of gin that you're not into, and there is a whole world of gins out there that aren't London Dry or something in that vein, where you're getting a lot more of the other botanicals, and the juniper is very much in the background.
But it has to be.
It has to be in there, right? It's not gin without
Yeah, we
juniper.
covered that. We
Otherwise,
covered that.
we got flavored vodka. So,
Yeah.
but that's a whole other,
See, you know
whole
what?
other category of spirits.
I think it was 2 episodes ago, a juniper flavored vodka.
No, yeah, we were
yeah.
talking about
We
that.
were wondering, like, can you do a
is that
juniper
possible?
flavored vodka?
As
without
far
being
as I
gin?
know, if it's got juniper in there, you're at gin.
Okay.
And then you flavored it with juniper.
But doesn't it-
by definition? I mean, if it's just, I guess this would be a good
I know,
good
'cause
thing
the
for you to
ABV
check.
too.
But as far as I know, ABV, it has to be distilled to
Yeah.
at least 37.5%.
And then vodka's 40.
Yeah.
Like, clearly.
Yeah, it has to be distilled well to.
Gin is 37 and a
It
half.
has to be at a minimum. Most
Yeah, I
of them are
remember
between
them
80 and
being,
90 proof, so
Yeah.
40 to,
Okay.
but it has to be distilled to at least on 37.5% to constitute as gin.
That's such a weird number.
That's infused.
Why
Yeah,
is
so
it that number?
So it's juniper infused vodka
Adding the
is a
junipers in
thing.
after the fact.
Yeah, so it's
It's not
infused.
distilled in there.
Yeah,
It's
see,
not
I want to
distilled.
know.
So you
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
so it's a juniper infused vodka would be a juniper flavored vodka
Yeah.
and not a gin.
Brixeur,
Yeah.
if you're listening, maybe you could try that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brixeur, not a sponsor yet.
Oh god! After this, probably not anymore.
However, we do.
I have no sway as far as I'm just here to talk about gin.
I do talk up Brixeur quite often.
Yeah.
Does a
and
lot.
like.
Well, thank you.
I don't need.
Us out. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, I don't get commission, but I will talk it up all day, every day. And Brixeur, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, it wouldn't be that expensive. Trust me.
There you have it. There you have it. I'll pitch it to the powers that be.
But you wouldn't have to twist in too many arms.
No. So, I have 2 questions for Nick. Vapor infusion versus maceration.
Yeah, so vapor infusion is where you're basically putting your botanicals, your basket,
And it's
above
where the gases are going to
where your
rise.
column is. Yeah, typically you would put it
Does
in.
Brixeur do that?
We do vapor infuse certain botanicals. So none of our gins are single shot distillations, meaning that we don't just put the botanicals in with your base spirit, distill it,
just
voila,
like tea,
tin.
like making tea.
Yeah, so those are macerations, what you're talking about, where you're putting the botanicals in with that base, whereas vapor infusion is a different distillation method to extract more delicate botanicals. So things
Yeah.
like fresh fruit or petals. If you put fresh fruit or petals in with your base spirit, it's going to disintegrate in there. Not going to get a quality tasting botanical. Absolutely. Those are more delicate botanicals. So a vapor infusion is a great way. That's why they do a lot of peel. When you're macerating, peel makes a lot of sense, but fresh fruit, absolutely. But think like, I mean, you can't distill cucumber, right? Like Hendrix, they added in after the fact. It's not actually distilled in with the gin, because if you were to distill that in, there's just
Hendrix is after the
Yeah, so it's technically a wet gin. Hendrix doesn't make a dry gin, they make a wet gin. Wet gin is where you're adding either a sweet component or a fruit or
That's a
some
fun fact
other
right there.
flavored something in after it's been distilled. So technically all of our gins are dry gins, all those botanicals are distilled, but they're not single shot distillations, which is a separate way of doing things. And a lot of gins are single shot distillations, and the vast majority of your London dry gins, it's 8, 9, a dozen botanicals in with that base spirit voila gin.
Dude,
Wet gin.
Yeah.
that's freaking awesome. So last
guess,
time we talked for about 5-10 minutes about the difference between maceration and vapor infusion.
Yeah, but that was with vodka.
You can also
wasn't it?
cold drip
No,
distill.
that was last time for.
Oh, was
Cold
it?
drip
Yeah.
distill.
Yeah.
Hold on, what's that about?
So
Yeah, I'm interested in
you
this.
can look into this cold drip distillation.
Whoa, we are in Oregon.
Yeah, that's true. Right, true story. Yeah, so again, it's just another way that you can extract flavor from a botanical, and you're chilling. The base spirit goes up through a channel where it then is chilled and then drops over the botanical and reliquefies. So then it's just extracting flavor that way. So again, it's just a more delicate way to extract flavor.
So it's like maceration way milded, or like way.
You're not macerating it. From my understanding, yeah. I mean, you're not. It's going through it versus actually sitting in it.
Yeah, you're right.
The word that this is using here is fractional crystallization.
Okay.
There
you have it.
So it's like taking a shower, not a bath.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
There you go.
It's just
And I might have totally butchered that.
we're not exactly experts. We know enough to be dangerous.
No, in my opinion, Nick is
stickler.
an expert.
No, I wouldn't go that far. But from my
Don't say his name
understanding,
3 times.
it's something that you can do. It's basically just another way to extract flavor from something.
Heck yeah.
It's like cold drip distill.
Now that that was my first question. I said I had 2. Actually, now I have 3. The second question, real fast. Can you give us the short explanation of what the word Brixeur is?
Brixeur. So Brixeur, the name Brixeur, or when you make up the name, you get to make up the definition. So Brix is the measurement of sugar and fruit, and Eur is to be a master in something. It's rude French for like, think distillateur, connoisseur, master in something, Eur, E-U-R. So Brixeur, winemaker turned master distiller, or master winemaker turned master distiller. Brixeur.
I love it. I heard you explain it one time, and I was fascinated by it. But I
That
know
definition
your
is
explanation
found
better.
on every bottle of spirits that we do.
Is
So
it
you don't
really
have to
on
look
there?
for it very hard.
Oh, damn it! That makes me feel stupid.
Brixeur, a winemaker who subsequently branches into the art of distilling spirits.
I love that.
And you get that's in Oxford.
If you look up Brixeur Spirits, you're going to go straight to our website. Or the word Brixeur, you're going to go straight to our website.
Yeah.
You know, you coin it, then you own it.
Yeah,
So,
true.
yeah.
Wait, Tommy, are you drinking out of a can over there too?
Yeah, but it's not my typical.
It's not Chelada?
No, it's actually a Boneyard beer.
It's Boneyard.
Beer.
Boneyard beer.
Yes.
It looks so official.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
Did they send it to us? Are they secretly a sponsor of the show?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, shout out Boneyard for thank you for making an awesome beer.
Look at this hoodie.
Oh, he is wearing the
He's got
merch.
the hat, too.
He's got the hat and the sweatshirt. So actually, yeah, we are official. Not
Hey,
official.
I'm trying not to make the
Officially
We're
table
officially
wet.
repping it. Not
I'm
officially
using the
sponsored.
coaster too, so.
Okay, cool.
Good stuff.
Well, Boneyard, if you want to sponsor us, we love beer.
And Boneyard.
And Boneyard. I do love you guys make good beer.
The RPM.
is
Crooked.
Oh, yeah, the RPM. is one of my
Crooked.
favorites.
I'm a Hop Venom fan, and I don't even like hoppy beer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hop Venom is a good go-to, too.
I have not had like a double, triple IPA that I could tolerate, and they do a damn good job with that beer. And was totally off a whole other tangent, but good job, Boneyard. And
A shout out.
And Brixeur.
And
Now that we know the definition,
Brixeur.
So
I'm
now,
gonna call Nick a Brixeur.
Hardly. Winemaking is not my forte. I'm very much sales and sales only. You don't want me in the winery.
Why? Why is that?
well, you do get.
Are you gonna drink first? Are you gonna drink first?
That's more questions later.
From the boss.
All right, now, well, that segues me to the last question that I had of the three. Last time we went through and talked about gins, we came up, or like in research, I found 7 different styles of gin.
Yep.
But Ike had like 3 different like things that weren't on my list.
And
So
Michael had a few too.
can we
No, I think you and Michael had the same.
can we
number.
go through and like if like help us understand like, or I mean from what you know about gins, like I want to go through the different kinds. So we had Genever.
Genever. Yeah, which is kind of the precursor to gin as we know it.
Yep.
That's kind of your first iteration, which was very juniper forward and very botanically and intense and certainly not for everybody, which is why you don't see a lot of them when you go to the liquor store.
You know, and I'm very curious as to how that Prohibition gin that we got over there is gonna taste.
Oh yeah. So
'Cause, yeah, that
This guy from Crater Lake.
we're gonna like later on, real quick. We are gonna do a blind taste test tonight with Nick, and
I think I know how the Brixeur tastes.
Brixeur.
I think I know how it tastes now.
If I get that one wrong, I'm fired.
We're basically.
I want to see.
Oh no! It's on.
That's a good point. We are doing like homework right now, real quick, to study up on.
Well, you know what? I think I'm ginned out for now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some bourbon.
On to the next.
I'll take some.
I will absolutely take some bourbon.
I got the Bookers.
You blessed us with Bookers.
Bookie.
Adorable.
What a
Nick.
dope dude.
Nick, you want some?
Sure. We're here for it.
You mean Brixeur? So I got the Booker's bottle, 2024 edition. It's the Masters.
While Tommy
Masters
is
edition?
getting that out, I was up in Seattle and I did a little research and I think I may have messed up again. Because from my research here, Gin is a 2-player card game. A popular
Oh my
variant
gosh,
of Rummy,
okay.
where players aim.
Get out of your house. Get out of your house.
Out of your house. That's the funnest fact of the day.
Oh, you said it.
Fun fact. Hey everyone, Bing is my favorite way to Google things. Just so all of y'all know.
Ooh, that's a heavy pour.
It's for Nick.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he's the guest.
This is the guest pour. apparently.
That's
I
a
will share it
$40
with you.
pour anywhere you go.
Yeah. Easy.
Can maybe just like one little baby splash?
Please, sir, may I have another?
Thank you.
Ooh, that's a big
There
splash.
you go.
Thanks, brother.
Rock and roll.
Love you long time.
Yes, every episode we gotta crack open a fresh bottle.
Drinks first, y'all.
Questions later. All right. Yeah, nothing like.
So the 3, I was going to ask you 3 questions, and the last one of those is we talked for a little while last time about all of the different kinds of gin that exist, and I came up with 8. But for some reason, Ike had like 2 or 3 extra that weren't on my list.
I don't remember where that was.
And so I was just going to go through this list and see, like, we tried to make heads or tails about it, and I think we figured it out.
Yeah,
But of all of the different kinds of gin, there's London Dry Gin, Plymouth Gin, Old Tom Gin,
Yes.
Navy Strength Gin,
Yep.
Genever,
Granddad.
New Western or Contemporary Gin, barrel-aged gin, and then flavored and infused gin.
See the new Western. I think that's the American, right? American style gin.
Wouldn't this be that?
Aviation.
This is somewhere in between. It's our riff on a London Dry gin, but it wouldn't necessarily constitute as London Dry because it's got too many botanicals.
Okay.
But juniper is more prominent in this gin than the other gins that we do. But I would say yes, it probably falls more in that contemporary than like more your classic dry gin, which is why we didn't brand it as London Dry Gin.
Gotcha.
A lot of the gins coming from the southern hemisphere, I consider those to be, kind of in that vein as well. Even like Botanist, those more botanical heavy gins where, the juniper is not the the main thing.
Well, what
That's
does it
kinda
say on that bottle? It just says gin.
It's branded as
Just gin.
Lehigh Valley Gin.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Because aviation has American gin.
Yeah.
There's a few other bottles that have American
Yeah.
gin. So
Freeland
I'm wondering if
has
that new contemporary is.
it falls in that same vein.
Yeah, okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where my
Well, yeah, new Western
yeah.
/ contemporary.
Yeah.
So
contemporary is
Yeah.
what I think of. When I'm thinking of that specific style of gin. So this is somewhere in that space,
Nice.
but a little bit more towards your classic dry.
Gotcha. Have you ever tried a barrel aged gin?
Absolutely, yeah. So Ransom actually here in, most places carry it. They put it in bourbon barrels, and that's it is technically an old Tom gin, but it is barrel aged. We actually make a barrel aged gin as well. We have one we rest in Riesling barrels for 7 months.
Really?
Yeah, we call it barrique, which is a fancy French word for barrel.
oh my gosh. Brixeur.
Yeah.
All the fancy French words.
the barrique gin. Spent
Not
7 months in
barrique.
Riesling barrels. But that's certainly a common practice using spent bourbon barrels, right? Because you can only use them one time.
Yeah.
So then you put whatever would have you in there, but a lot more people are putting gin in those barrels.
You see, when I think of barrel aged anything, or like specifically when I'm thinking of barrel aged gin, I always am thinking of bourbon barrels.
Not necessarily. I mean, you rest it in any barrel. It's
Yeah,
barrel aged.
and like the thing that you said was you're aging it in Riesling barrels. Does it make it?
I thought the same
Still
too.
turn brown?
Absolutely. I mean,
It's
it's
the
more of an
wood.
amber. It's more of like a straw. I'm leaning towards amber hue. It's not dark like when you think of like a Reposado or a Añejo. It's not that dark.
Yeah.
It's closer to a Reposado than an Añejo, but it's still a little bit more like straw
Okay.
versus like,
Now, also, when you guys age your Riesling in barrels, is your Riesling going into bourbon barrels or new charred oak?
it's going into neutral French oak barrels.
Neutral French oak?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is what the vast majority of wine made in Oregon and elsewhere is aged in.
We're going to have a.
By and large,
episode.
French oak is what you use to age
Well, I
wine,
think
so it makes sense that we would
episode
use-
on barrels. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Totally, we
Well,
could do
I
an
think
entire
we'll
episode
probably have like 3 or 4 episodes on wine.
Yeah.
And like we should get you back
Have me
for
back.
wine.
Love to sit
Yeah.
and chat wine for
Dude, you know anything about wine?
Expert. I know a thing or two.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't
cool.
call myself an expert. There's a whole world of wine out there. I know.
Do you know any
about.
fun facts about it?
So,
That's for a later episode.
wait, so Trisaetum's the winery, right?
Correct.
What does Trisaetum mean?
It's super cool. It's really sophisticated.
Is it like a
Trisaetum.
made up word too?
It is a combination of our founding owners' 2 kids' names.
You guys.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
Tristan and Tatum.
You have it.
Tristan and Tatum.
Mario said that if we do a wine episode, he'd let us record in the restaurant
Yes.
with him, so we can do
A guest host with him. Okay. Cool.
Dude, Dario is pretty sick.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. Heck yeah. Well, Ike, did you find your list?
No, I did not.
It's totally fine. I feel like.
I found some AI made up things.
Also, real quick shout out. If you guys are watching this episode for the first, watching our show for the first time with this episode, stop, go back, watch our first episode. Or watch episode A, but
see
watch
the evolution.
Also watch the part 1 of Gin, because we are referencing things that we talked to last time. But yeah, anyways,
Playing catch up here.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So,
Talk about the gin spirit again.
oh gosh. Get out of my house! Get out of my house!
The
It's
gin.
your house.
The gin.
The Gin.
Oh, I just got
The
it down.
DJIN.
DJIN.
Gin.
The gin.
Gene.
Gin.
Is that how you say that
It's the
word?
whiskey talking.
It's
I think it
It
is.
is pronounced gin, but it's DJINN, and that's the.
Yes.
It's where the term genie comes from.
We heard it.
We talked about it last time. We don't need to talk about it again.
Stop acting like such a degenerate.
Get out of.
Degenerate.
Degenerate.
Nice. I have a question, and this might, I wonder if Nick might know the answer to this. If not, Mike, can we get a mic check on it?
Yeah.
So, when we drink alcohol, your body metabolizes it as sugar, right?
Correct.
It breaks it down as sugar. When I have tried, like I was mentioning earlier, when I try to sell people on a gin cocktail and I hear that 8 out of 10 people are like, ugh, no, I hate gin. Gin's the worst and stuff like that. I think that it's also because they probably had a shitty experience with gin in the past, or a really crappy hangover the next day. When we drink gin, is there more sugar that metabolizes because of the botanicals that are in it? Or is it basically exactly the same as
I think it really
vodka?
depends on the botanical.
But it could have an effect.
Of course, I mean, because there are some things that are more sugar-based or
Like,
whatever.
yeah, why would they get a
I don't
worse
think it really makes, I don't think, I think after you.
I can't imagine that. I mean, if you think about it and you're distilling those botanicals, it's not like there's extra sugar.
You're right.
I mean, there's no sugar in there unless it's an old Tom gin where you're adding it after the fact. Or you're drinking too many gin cocktails that have a lot of sugar. If you're drinking gin and tonics with gin from a gun, that gin's going to have a ton of sugar in it. So you have X too many of those, and you're definitely going to have a gnarly hangover. The other, I think what it more is. So there's really bad gin out there, and it really runs the gamut. And as you were talking about with those well gins, I mean, they're pretty gnarly, and it's not something you want to get sick on. And I think it's more the fact that there's all that juniper, it's super piney, that coming out the other end is probably a terrible experience.
Yeah,
And
probably.
so after that experience, you're like, I don't want to get drunk on that again. But I also, gin has come a long way. And a lot of people's exposure to gin are exclusively your London dry gins, Tanqueray, Bombay, any of those things that are super juniper forward. So if you hate that profile, you have it in your head that you don't like gin. And again, I mean, it's a specific subcategory of gin. And if you were to expose these people to other gins and you have them try them 8 out of 10 times, when I go through this experience and have to encourage people to try these things because they have it in their head that they're not going to like it, more often than not, they're really surprised. And I've had so many people tell me, oh, I really thought I was going to hate that, or I wanted to hate that. And you were absolutely right. This is not what I think of when I think of gin.
Gotcha.
They really run the gamut, more so than a lot of other spirits. It's a really broad category, which is why I think it's so fascinating in its own right.
Excellent. So I have a fun story, not a fact. It's a story.
That's close enough.
Fun fact, y'all. There's a story that I have to tell. And it was way back in the day. I was in Napa Valley. It was my first time doing like wine tasting as an adult. I was tasting around wines. There was this really cool like indoor space. I just like sloshed whiskey all over. Sorry, I got whiskey on you. I don't know why I just grabbed your boob right there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Feeling up the
Hopefully
guest.
not the last time.
Feeling up the guest. What are you doing?
I was in Napa.
That's why he
And
wants to come.
we were going to get lunch. There was this super cool long building with a bunch of different vendors. Like it was like it reminded me of this huge greenhouse that got retrofitted to be like this like area. But there was this booth that was spirits tasting, and it was my first experience ever with gin. Like it was fresh after I was turning like 21. I got to hear from a professional like producer of spirits explaining what spirits were. And he did this super cool trick, which he said, like, when you swirl your gin, or in this case, whiskey, which you should never do, in my opinion. But when you swirl your gin, you can put your nose in the glass and you smell it, and you smell ethanol. Like it's like nail polish remover in a way. But if you swirl your gin, turn your glass sideways, and you smell above the rim of your glass, you only smell the botanicals, or like you only smell the lemon peel, the rosemary, whatever the gin maker produced in it. Have you heard about this?
So, I mean, I bring it back to wine. Oftentimes when you're smelling wine, it's good to get it at different
Like
points.
shove your
And so-
nose in there,
Yeah, to start,
but then-
but then as you're moving that glass around, you're picking up different aromatics.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So very much so, I think any of those aromatic spirits or, wine, whatever the libation is, it's interesting to try to smell it at different points because you're going to pick up. different
You just said one of my favorite words, libation. I love that word, libation.
It's a great word.
It sounds dirty, but it's a great word. It just means
It's on the cocktail menu.
Yeah, it is.
At Old
It's
Town.
drink. Yep.
I do have a quick question. So, like with whiskeys, they have the glass called a snifter. Is that something that would work with the gin, or would gin just have to be done in a regular glass?
Like an open
Yeah.
vessel.
like this Dollar Tree special.
Is this Dollar Tree?
Yeah, Dollar Tree.
That was a special.
It's very special.
You're special.
Yeah, no.
Personally, I like trying gin, like if I'm just tasting the spirit, I like it in something that's got an angle to it because it channels those aromatics.
So you would be able to do it in a sniff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, or even something that's even more angular, almost like tulip shaped. I think those glasses are great. Or like a Glencairn glass is great for gin, or a sherry, or like a cordial glass would be
Nice.
would be
So
nice.
if you were at home by yourself and you had a bottle of gin and you just wanted to try it neat, would you pour it into one of those glasses?
Yeah, I would go for that over this for
Yeah,
sure. I feel like you're going to get more of the botanicals and less of the alcohol.
Anyways.
We love cats.
That was a great question about what the best vessel to consider. I mean, everybody's going to have a different opinion, but I think that's a valid question. 'Cause a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people don't think to try gin for the sake of trying gin. It's oftentimes, almost always consumed in a cocktail. I'll tell you, anytime I buy a new bottle of gin, the first thing that I do is put it in a little, like a snifter glass.
And
or
you
a
try it
snifter
neat.
glass, and I try it independently to see what I'm getting from that spirit, to figure out what cocktails I want to applicate it to.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I need to do that more often.
Good question.
Try the different gins. Every time I bring in a gin, 90% of the time I try it before I.
Generally, he
Is
tries.
it a gin? When you bring in.
Do you ever get any degenerates?
Get out of Get out of his house.
Hold on.
Get out of his house.
Hold
Cheers
on.
to that.
Hold on.
Get out of Mike's house.
Oh my god.
I love that.
Oh, Nick, how's that whiskey? Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Super good.
I feel it right in here.
Smelling this, okay?
When you
Wait, smell this one.
try gin, do you ever add an ice cube to chill it, like a whiskey?
I mean, not initially, no.
No?
I
You
would
like
like
it
to try
neat?
it neat,
Cool.
granted, because I'm going to be trying it proofed down in a cocktail. So when I'm trying it independently, I just want to try it neat.
Gotcha.
Maybe throw a few drops of water in there if you're going to throw some distilled water in there. I mean, again, if you want to chill it down, a lot of people will obviously, that's how it's typically consumed. But there are people out there that keep gin in a decanter and they drink it at room temperature.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And especially in a certain demographic, there was a time where that was a lot more commonplace than it is today. But they have gin decanters. They do exist.
My
believe
dad
it or
used to
not.
drink gin like straight.
Yeah,
Really?
there's a certain
room temp
demographic
in a
of people
decanter.
for sure that would drink gin just independently with nothing else.
I love that. That's really cool.
I've got a question for everybody on panel here.
Yeah.
Maybe even Michael if he wants to answer. We'll start with David. What's your favorite cocktail with gin in it?
The Violet Hour.
Okay.
Is that a proprietary cocktail?
Can you kind of describe it?
It's my cocktail.
Yeah.
I made it up.
Go ahead.
But it actually, fun fact. I caught myself and then I'm just going to lean into it. It's fine.
Lean.
I thought up this cocktail as a spin-off of The Last Word. Or The Last Word. Word.
Word.
And that is a very classic cocktail. I wonder, do we know the origin of that? Mic check. Would you look up the origin of The Last Word cocktail?
I doubt
I will
it's
tell you, it's a Prohibition era cocktail.
Is it
I'm
really?
fairly confident that it is, and I know a bartender in, I believe, Seattle is the one that brought it back to the mainstream.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to fact check me on that, but I'm
No,
pretty sure it was out of people's consciousness for a really long time,
Yeah.
and then he went through this old-timey cocktail book, and he saw it, and he's like, that's cool, and he threw it on his cocktail menu.
The cocktail
and then you
renaissance
started
did
to
start,
see it
like,
pretty regularly.
in this area right here, the PNW, San Francisco also.
Yeah.
He's going to tell me I'm full of absolute shit.
Okay. So
The
we've
Last Word cocktail.
So we've got David's.
I'm almost done. I loved this drink, and I do want to shout out Javier. He was the one that showed me a variation on The Last Word, which was the gin cocktail at the restaurant that I used to work at for him, and it was his cocktail. But I changed it up, and this one has Empress gin, which is the rose petal elderflower gin, and it's got lemon in it, and it does chartreuse or green chartreuse and Luxardo, and it's a blend of lavender and rosemary simple syrup. So it's super close to a Last Word, and that's my own favorite gin cocktail. But it is a salute to the last word. So I would have to say, like, traditionally speaking, my favorite gin cocktail would be last word.
Do you find that?
Mic
Find that
drop?
information?
The last word cocktail was first mixed at the Detroit Athletic Club, DAC, during the 1920s, specifically in the 1960s.
Detroit.
While it's often associated with the Prohibition era drinking, records show it predates the official start of the Prohibition by at least 2 years.
There you go.
The cocktail gained recognition again in the early 2000s. Wow.
Yeah.
But anything after
When
that?
bartender, it says, when bartender Murray Stevens received it, I mean, it's really all it says.
Shout out.
Murray Stevens.
Thanks for bringing the last word into everybody's
What's your
consciousness.
friend's name?
Oh, he's not a friend.
Oh, no.
I was just under the impression he was a Seattle bartender.
Gotcha.
I could be dead wrong about that. I could be in New York.
What was that bartender's name?
Murray Stevens.
Murray Stevens.
bartender.
Murray?
Murray?
Murray Stevens received it in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Seattle bartender.
Robert Seattle bartender Murray
There it is.
Stenson dies at the age of 74. This was in 2023. Holy shit.
Craft cocktail renaissance. Bam.
Wow.
Nick.
For the
I
win.
know a thing or two.
Yeah.
Well,
Again,
yeah.
I'm not an expert.
We gotta say that. We gotta say that. No, because there's internet trolls.
Oh, dude, I am not in any way, shape, or form an expert, and I realized that as I was talking about the distillation process, I was like, I'm not the person to sit here and talk about that.
We need to have a moment of silence for Murray.
To Murray Stevens.
Stenson.
No, Stinson.
Oh, Stenson.
Murray Stinson.
Murray Stenson.
Mike, Murray Stenson.
Salute.
Solante.
All right. So, Nick, what's your favorite?
You were supposed to say
I gotta
cilantro.
I gotta keep it classic. I mean, I love the last word, and that is definitely one of my favorite cocktails. But favorite gin cocktail, if I'm just talking gin cocktails and not like cocktails, it's got to be a martini.
Oh, yes.
Love
Yes.
love a classic gin martini. I
All-
mean, you're
olives
really
or onions?
showcasing one of my favorite spirits in essentially its purest form.
Yeah.
It's a little bit proof down, you have a little bit of vermouth, a garnish, and
But what's your
other than
garnish
that,
of choice?
It depends on the martini.
Onion.
The gin dictates the garnish.
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point. That's a
The
great.
gin absolutely dictates the garnish,
Okay.
and I will.
That's a hashtag.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll go to stand on that
All right.
for sure.
Willamette
Fight to
Valley,
the death.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Willamette Valley Gin, vermouth. What's your garnish?
This is what I love about this gin is it's super versatile. So I really like
With that
it
one.
with either a lemon peel or just a single olive. But both are
They're-
really great in this with this particular gin. There's not every gin that I'm like it can go either or. Hendrix, I'm not going to garnish it with an olive. You're just not, right? I mean, it calls for fruit, just the style of gin that it is. At least that's my opinion.
Would you have it shaken or stirred?
I prefer stirred. I really don't like ice chunks in my martini, and I have yet to meet a bartender that will shake it
And
and
double
not
it.
serve some degree of.
Is there a reason
Ice.
behind that?
I mean, it's just personal preference, man. Some people they want it cold, and you get that by shaking it. There's some say that it bruises the gin. I don't know how much validity there is to that.
We talked about that. We talked about that a couple episodes ago, but
It actually, we had a shout out to a bartender in Sherwood who told us that you are
If you
never
shake it-
supposed to shake gin
I
ever.
just absolutely refuse to do it. I mean, out of principle, I just don't do it unless I'm making a very specific cocktail.
Yeah, see, but
Only
that's,
just adding to the addition to
If
the
I'm making a martini, I'm gonna stir it 99.9.
no, but that's a martini. But if you have a
Depends
gin
on the other gin
cocktail
cocktail.
made with like let's say like juice or
any gin
other
period, you do not shake it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that boils down to personal preference, you know?
preference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
But you can get it cold without shaking it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
so martini. What's your favorite?
I'm just gonna go with the classic G&T.
There you go.
Because I'm a man of very unsophisticated taste.
No, no. Did you
I'm
hear?
drinking a goddamn PBR.
You can't, it's hard to beat a good gin and tonic.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
did you
Now,
hear?
you can drink those things year round. I mean,
Did you hear? They broke up.
Oh no, they
Yeah,
didn't.
gin and tonic. Their
Seriously?
relationship was on the rocks.
Tragic.
That's really rough.
That's emotional damage right there.
Emotional damage.
Wow, that's hard.
Ready for this blind taste?
They broke up. We were actually.
No, we gotta ask. Ike's is a gin and tonic.
And I don't have a whole explanation about it. I used to go to the gay bar at CC Slaughter's in Portland. I want to tell you, gay bar in Portland, Oregon. Like this was like 2011, like 2012, around there. They did dollar wells from like 10 till midnight, and we'd go there and get like fucked up on gin and tonics, and then go across the street to the boiler room and do karaoke until they closed.
There you go.
It was a great night. I met my girlfriend at that gay bar. It was awesome. Girlfriend.
Is that how she identifies herself?
Oh.
So, Ike, though, with your gin and tonic, have you ever tried it with cucumber instead of lime?
Actually, I have. I think I did. I think I had a cucumber gin at one point, like whatever infused, however they fucking do that.
Yeah.
I've had that before, and so I had that in the gin and tonic with the lime.
Okay. Did you enjoy the presence of
was drunk.
cucumber? Oh, okay, that's fair.
I'm just gonna be honest, and this was like maybe a decade and a half ago.
Yeah. Well, why I ask is the first time I really tried gin and came to love it was in Napa. But then there was a long season of time where I just like didn't drink gin because I knew that I liked bourbon. I loved bourbon. It was my go-to. But then, like years later, my brother and I were at this bar in San Francisco. It was like, no, it was a hotel, but it was a hotel bar, really nice hotel. And the bartender made me a gin and tonic and asked me if I wanted cucumber in it. And I was like, yeah, I'd never tried that before.
It does sound really good.
I was just copycatting my brother, though. He ordered the gin and tonic, and I was just like, I'll do one of those too. But it was the first time I had cucumber in my gin and tonic, and I was like, this is revolutionary. Like, so bartending 101 suggestions, tips, and tricks for those of you who are bartenders or aspiring bartenders or have a bar at home that like to make drinks for their friends. If you're ever like just thinking a simple cocktail, get some gin, get some tonic, and get a cucumber, and like take a fork, like take the cucumber, take a fork to it, and just like shave the sides of it real quick, and then slice your wheels, and then throw it in. And it's cool because like if you do the fork thing, the cucumber swells and turns into a flower. It's so beautiful.
what?
Yeah. So no, you take the cucumber, you take your fork, and you run the fork's prongs along the sides, like all around it.
You mangle the hell out of
hard, and creating grooves in the cucumber on all sides.
There's another way to make a flower.
Hold on.
I like it. I mean, that's simplistic. I mean, it's
Really easy, simple, and it's fun. Like, and,
demonstrate.
and it only works after the cucumber's been sitting there for a little while because it does swell. And it turns into a flower. It's freaking cool.
David, would you call that a fun fact?
It's a fun fact. It's a fun fact.
Oh my god.
You pushed me into that. Thank you for that. But yeah. Anyways, that's what like question I have for you, Tommy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gin cocktail?
The Negroni.
A.
Did we figure out how to
How do you
that
spell
yet?
Negroni?
Negroni. 3 ingredients.
Yeah, there it is.
Sweet vermouth, Campari, and dry gin.
Do you when you take the gin, do you pour it down the drain first before adding it?
No, not like the dry vermouth, but the dry gin.
Oh no, dry vermouth. You're right.
The dry gin.
I
I
screwed
pour
up.
it in the shaker or the whatever vessel I'm mixing with. But yeah, I like that because it's bitter, it's dry.
Orange peel.
Garnished.
Yeah.
either or, right?
No, it's a lemon twist.
I have heard so
No,
many people,
yeah, we
they
thank
stand
you.
their ground on this.
Thank
It's
you.
not
I'm
either or for
standing
a lot
up
of
right
people.
now.
I think we had this debate.
We did.
It's citrus. You could literally use grapefruit. I've seen
That's what we
Negronis with
settled on.
grapefruit.
Yeah,
That
that's what we
actually sounds
settled on.
really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That
why-
sounds really Negroni with grapefruit.
Why the hell not?
Here's
Yeah,
the
that
thing.
sounds amazing.
Here's the thing. The Boulevardier and the
No
Negroni
lime, though.
are cousins. They're super.
They're regional cousins.
Are
Yeah.
they kissing cousins or are they just cousins?
They're kissing cousins. They're kissing cousins, and they share the same
You're
dad.
telling me they're from, never mind.
And they share the same dad, so it's fine.
So really, they're brother and sister.
No, they share the same uncle.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Uncle
I gotta ask. I
Campari.
gotta ask this question. Why is this guy not just on the panel like all the time?
Right. Yeah. You're gonna come back. You're gonna come back for sure. Yeah.
I'm re-invited, guys. You hear that? This is not one and done. You will see me again.
Hell yeah. Damn it. There was another question. No. Okay. So the Boulevardier and the Negroni.
It's whiskey.
When I am garnishing it, I'm going to do an orange peel for the Boulevardier because bourbon deserves orange, in my opinion. Old fashioned definitely needs orange bitters, but the Negroni, to be different and to differentiate it, like yes, the color is going to be different. Like yes, the Boulevardier is going to be darker than the Negroni. The Negroni is going to be more red, but I like to differentiate it by the garnish and have a lemon twist or lemon peel as the garnish for Negroni.
This is bartender stance. If you're serving them side by side, somebody orders a Negroni and somebody orders a Boulevardier, you don't want to fuck up who's going to what, so or what's going to do. So
I feel like it's preference.
Yeah. I
love it.
It's preference. Because each citrus, like a lime, a lemon, grapefruit, orange, they all have their own aroma, or they exude like a different oil that when your lips touch, it may burn, it may like just mellow in. But
I'm coming to
Orange.
I'm starting to think what should we ask? Like should I ask? Like
Ask
what do you
Jeeves,
want? Well, yes, ask
or
Jeeves.
gin.
Well, Bing it
the consumer.
because that's my favorite way to Google things. But or you could just mic check it. No, well you already told us this. Never mind, you dropped it. But like, should we ask? Like, if somebody orders a Negroni, should I ask them, "Do you want orange or lemon?"
Oh, it should be always orange.
I'm not gonna.
No, you know what? Okay, no, you do that. You continue to do lemon.
Okay.
But I guarantee you, for all you bartenders out there that have made Negronis, I get like more than 90% of the people are going to say orange because it just balances more well with the Campari, the sweet vermouth, and then the gin.
And that's a fun
All right,
fact
you know
for
what we
ya.
should do right now?
Oh, he said it.
Hey, so we mentioned earlier we were going to do a blind taste test.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I
you
think
want
we
to do the
should
blind
that,
taste
yeah.
test?
Let's do it.
All right, Mike, you're going to come over. We're going to do this. We're going to
Mike,
do this.
Remember what's in what?
Yeah.
Here,
I know.
take my notebook.
We are doing 3 different gins tonight. The first one, or whichever order, I have the hiccups right now. We're going to be doing Brixeur's gin. We've been doing some homework and sampling it. We're also going to do Crater Lake.
We got Crater Lake Prohibition gin.
Yeah.
And then Roku,
Japanese.
made in Japan, or distilled in Japan, sorry.
Yeah.
So we got these 3. I'm not going to open it. Let's move away. It's a
So
launch.
how are we doing this? Is one person going? Are we just going to
So
pass it down?
we are blind taste testing this. He poured 3 different gins into it. We're going
We got
to
CBD, right?
sample them.
Yeah. BCD.
Take notes
BCD,
real quick
not CBD.
about what we think they are.
I need notes.
And then I'm going to go through and say, which one do you think is this one? And we're going to hold up numbers. And 1 is B, 2 is C, and 3 is D. A, rest in peace. We miss you. You were a good soul. And, anyways,
So we have Brixeur, Crater Lake, and
Roku.
Roku.
yeah, all right. It smells like juniper.
I hate you. Yeah, we gotta do the. You said it smells like juniper.
You gotta be quicker on the trigger.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
This one tastes like there's like more fire in it.
Don't say it out loud.
That's just
No,
my
you
thought.
can.
I'm just
No,
thinking
you
out-
can.
thinking
Talk
out loud.
about-
It's gonna mess with my opinion.
No. All right.
So
one.
For those playing at home, notice that there is no A. We had an A glass, but we broke it. So from
Yep.
this point forward, there is not going to be a single A glass.
Nope.
We might get an E.
We only got
in honor,
CBD. We only got CBD.
in honor of the A, we can't replace it. It was one of a kind.
Yeah.
It had a personality. I almost wanted to name him Steve, but he was great. He was a
Rest
good
in
soul.
peace, eh?
Rest in peace.
I think
Rest in peace.
the next classes are going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's
That's a good point.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No.
So-
no, it has to be 2, 3, 4.
That's true. That's funny. That's funny.
Sorry,
So now, okay, we're gonna hold up fingers. You hold up the number. So 1 is B, 2 is C, 3 is D. Which one do you think was Roku? Okay. Now, which one do you think was Brixeur? And which one do you think is Crater Lake? All right. Cool. We've voted now.
What do you got?
Honestly, Nick, I'm hoping you get everything right. At least the Brixeur
Time will
one.
tell.
No, I just noticed with the last one, we all voted 2 except for Nick.
We did.
He voted 1.
I noticed that too.
So,
B was Roku.
yes.
Yes. Okay. C.
And I love going alphabetically. So C was obviously
Crater Lake.
really.
Yes! I went back and forth on those two, man. I should have stuck with my guns.
I got the spread.
I swapped my answer.
I got one
C
right.
was obviously very
Hey, at least I knew the house.
Hold on. We got to get a yay.
Kudos to all of you guys that got it right. I am
Good
kicking
game.
myself.
Good game, team.
I'm wholly kicking
Go
myself.
us.
Okay.
I wanted it to work that way.
Guys.
Gin. David, I feel like there's a couple gins we haven't covered yet.
Yeah. Well, real quick.
Sorry.
When I was going through my list earlier of the different kinds of gins, you kind of like elbowed me for the Navy Strength gin.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah, what do
wanted
you
to
guys know
touch
about
on it.
Navy Strength Gin?
Oh, we talked about that. We talked about it a little bit last
We did. It's higher proof,
What proof? It's a very
Typically-
specific proof.
57%.
Yeah, so 114 proof, 57% ABV.
Why?
Yeah.
What? That's such a weird
Do you know
number.
why it has to be
No.
114 proof?
No idea. I want to know.
So
Please
at
tell us.
anything less than 114 proof, gunpowder won't light.
Oh, we talked about
Did we talk about this?
that. Yeah, we
Oh,
talked
my
about
fun fact.
Fun fact.
No, it's because
Does
we
it
were
get to
so
be as
drunk
fun?
last time.
Well,
we were.
I do remember
That's
having
fine.
a
We can
conversation.
cut this bit out. So not everybody knows that, but that is how Navy Strength Gin came to be.
I might check this. I might check this last episode.
I think it's great. No, I
No,
mean
for a fact.
the Navy was notorious. The British Navy was notorious for consuming gin, and they would bring it all over the world. And so initially, they store their gin barrels.
during colonial era.
This would have been like 18th century.
Okay.
Is the 18th century colonial era? This is not history class.
Colonial is like 17, late
This should have been. I think
1700s.
this would have been like 18th century.
Well, in our whiskey episode, we brought up the question of like, where does the term proof come from? And I had this whole story
Great question.
about like when they were trying to catch super high proof spirits being like sold and like traded around, the patrols would take a drop of the spirit, drop it into one of their pistols, and try to dry fire it.
There you have it.
And if it ignited, it was a high proof spirit. And we couldn't figure out what proof was the limit of
My understanding,
igniting.
anything below 114 proof won't ignite.
I thought it was like over 100. Yeah.
Maybe it is over. I mean, it's got to be
110.
110. So you're right there. Yeah.
I think so.
Makes a lot of sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But that's why it's 57%, because they say 114 proof
Is the
the igniting limit.
Yeah. From my
Or-
understanding,
or-
they would keep their gin barrels in the belly of the boat where they kept the gunpowder. And if those gin barrels spilled out, let's say you got rough waters, right? Gunpowder gets wet. You still needed to ignite if you get in a situation.
So gunpowder gin though.
Gunpowder gin, different thing.
Yeah.
Not a Navy
That's-
strength gin.
yeah, see, that's-
gunpowder tea
that's what
is
I'm-
the key botanical
Okay, I see.
in gunpowder gin.
It's also an Irish gin. Like
It is an Irish gin. Drumshambo makes some really stellar gin.
Drumshambo,
For those of you that are looking to explore different gins, anything Drumshambo does is exceptional.
They do a lot of flavors, yeah.
Hold on. From a layman, what is a Drumshambo?
It's the name of the distillery.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Gunpowder gin is the gin that they make.
It's the style of gin. It's one of the gins that they make.
Okay.
So
Where is
what
that
category
based?
would that be though?
That's a great question. I would put it in that kind of new age,
contemporary.
Yeah, contemporary gin.
New Western
Yeah,
contemporary.
that new Western contemporary.
Because I don't think it says London Dry on the
It's
bottle.
not a London Dry gin from buying.
Or any like specific.
I would definitely say it's a more contemporary gin.
It just says gunpowder gin.
Yep.
For the blind taste test, who did anybody win?
Yeah, me and I.
Yeah, you guys.
We got
nailed it.
full spread.
You got perfect score?
We got perfect score.
Yeah.
Shit.
I
Well,
took
once
that
you miss
D.
one, it's like you're.
Yeah, you're either all three.
Yeah,
You know what? For the next one, then I'll get 2 more gins or 3 more gins, and then we'll do another blind
With
taste
5.
test. We'll do 5.
like it.
Sure, like
I
that.
was actually looking into finding a bottle.
But all different though.
They
I
have,
want
they have
all
a
different.
bottle. They have a bottle at. They have a bottle at the Newburgh Liquor. I was going to buy a bottle of Rainier gin,
Okay.
I saw that.
and I'm like, because we have the PBR whiskey, Rainier gin would be perfect.
We should get one of the other kinds of gin that Brixeur makes.
The Labyrinth.
They have like, what, 5
Nick, can
different
you tell us about the Labyrinth gin? Because David said that was the best gin he's ever
It's
had.
one of the coolest gins I have ever had, and if you haven't gathered from this podcast, I've tried a lot of different gins. The Labyrinth gin has
Holy.
59
I'm looking
botanicals
at
in
it.
it. As far as I know, it's the largest botanical
59.
building out there.
They needed 10 more to make it nice.
Well, so Monkey 47 has 47 botanicals, and
You're right.
it is one of the favorite gins amongst our distilling team, and they couldn't put 48
Schwartz,
botanicals
who
in
makes
there,
that?
then it'd be
Schwartz. Monkey 47.
weird. What?
Monkey 47
Monkey
is.
47. It's made in Germany.
No, but the name of the distillery. Schwartz.
I
Get Mike
cannot
on it.
remember the name
Get
of the
Mike on
distillery
it.
that makes Monkey 47, but that's all they make is gin.
I think it's Schwartz something. Anyways,
Did you understand my
And they have a
reference?
few gins that aren't distributed outside of Germany.
I don't think you understood my reference. You have 59 botanicals and like 10 more to be nice. 69. I'm sorry.
oh no, Monkey 47 is its own.
Oh, so bad.
It's its own spirit. It's
But what-
that the name of the distillery.
No, I'm thinking of something. It says on the bottle. It says on the bottle.
Anyway, German, delicious. So
That's
Labyrinth.
cool.
The goal was to basically craft something that was just really varied and quite unique, and we kind of they called it Labyrinth because it's sort of like putting your palate through a maze. As you try it in different cocktails, you try it at different points of the day, different botanicals are going to poke out at you, so it's never really the same thing twice.
Schwarzwald.
Schwarzwald.
Dry
Yeah,
gin.
Schwarzwald be with you.
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry.
Dry gin, not to be confused with London dry gin.
And Labyrinth. Like, I'm thinking like Jareth and like fucking the Labyrinth.
I think they call it. You guys call it the Labyrinth because there's so many botanicals.
Well,
Yeah.
so
And it's never really the same.
when I went to this like the tasting room at Brixeur, Nick poured me a taste of the Labyrinth, and he also gave me this card, and it was the card that had the list of all of the different kinds of like the 59 different botanicals. And he challenged me, and he said like, "Hey, take a sip and read a word, and you'll be able to taste that word." And then
Our
read,
suggestion.
and then take a sip, read a different word, and you'll be able to taste that word. And it was so like I literally sat there just like sipped, sip, sip, and I was like, it blew my mind. I tasted each different botanical.
And this is why I hate tasting notes. So for those of you that go wine tasting and you see tasting notes in print, those are the things that you are absolutely going to taste in that wine, whether you taste them or not.
The power of suggestion.
Because of the power of suggestion. It's a very powerful thing.
Exactly.
I think we covered a lot about gin. I think we should, with all the drama that's been going on past 2 weeks, we can have today,
In drama?
yesterday.
There's no drama. Is there drama?
There's no
What are you talking
drama,
about?
but I want to drama. When I think of drama, I think of Jerry Springer. So we should go to Springer's final thought. What's your final thought on gin?
Anything that can be made with vodka can be made better with gin.
Okay.
That's a hard stance.
That's just
It is inherently more interesting than vodka.
It
Vodka
is.
is the tofu. of spirits.
And well, like the asterisk to that is you have to know your gins and you have to know which gin to use with the thing that you're substituting in for vodka.
That's the thing, right?
That's the thing.
applicable to different things.
Yeah.
I'm far more interested in the botanicals.
I
I love that. Just the differences and the amounts that you can add into it and the flavors and the combinations and everything. It makes
This
it
is a great
so,
segue into what gets me
it makes
excited
it
about you.
just really
after
quick.
tonight, I love gin.
Just really quick, I'm glad that David used the term asterisk and not fun fact.
Oh my God.
Fun facts.
What's the count at right now?
Probably 11.
I don't know.
The rest of the episode is going to be 11.
I'm not including a counter.
I think you are.
Wait, segue.
I think gin is fascinating because it's one of the few spirits that's truly regional. And I mean that, and you have spirits that are unique to one specific part of the world, but when you're trying gins from different parts of the world, you're getting botanicals, different essences that are unique to that part of the world.
Yep.
And so it is a very worldly spirit in that when you're trying gins from the Southern Hemisphere versus Japan versus the UK versus parts of the United States. I mean, the United States is a massive country, right? So when you're trying gins from different parts of the United States, you're getting botanicals that are unique to that region. And when you're trying gins from different part of the world, you're getting botanicals that are unique to that part of the world. And I think that is what makes gin such a fascinating spirit.
I like that.
How many different flowers are there in the world?
That's
Like,
the thing,
there's
right? I mean,
thousands,
granted, there's going to be
hundreds
lots that are poisonous that you can't distill and incorporate in a spirit, but of those that are consumable, there's
if you distilled a flower that was poisonous and then consumed the alcohol, would that kill you? Or like, would that be poisonous in the same way?
Wait, what? Wait, you got to rephrase that
Would
question.
that unalive you?
Yeah, it would definitely.
you definitely don't want to consume things that
Maybe
could negatively impact your health.
That's an interesting thought. That's a
David-
botanist question.
David over here is like, I'm going to infuse foxglove into goddamn gin.
Yeah.
you better stop with those fox gloves.
This gin tastes like poison ivy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, probably not.
Foxglove is more poisonous than poison ivy. Poison ivy is
Nightshade.
irritant.
I final thoughts on gin.
Are we doing like Springer final thoughts?
Sure.
Well, I've actually met Jerry Springer. I was on his show at one point.
Hey.
No, I'm actually not kidding. I was actually on Judge Jerry. At
We'll
one
put a
point.
link for that show.
I really was.
Right.
This is a real
I have
thing.
to see this
It's a real
episode.
thing. It's on YouTube. We'll find a link and I'll
And you
post it.
scroll down, there's in the bio of this episode,
Yes.
I'm going to
It'll be
include a
right
link
there.
for
We can't-
the episode.
We can't post any footage from the episode because they will copyright strike us, but there is a link.
We'll link it. Yeah. Check it
Final
out.
thoughts on gin. Like, gin is one of those, like, it's like the redheaded stepchild of spirits. Like, it's misunderstood and people just kind of beat it because they can. That was really bad. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way. This is going to stay in probably, but shit. This is why we shouldn't drink while we do this. But it's one of those. It's a spirit that you come to understand and invite into your life once you get to know it. And it's like, it's not a bad spirit, and like it's of all of the spirits, like whiskey. I love shooting whiskey, like straight. Gin is actually, depending on the gin, like a good gin like Brixeur is a great gin to just shoot straight and without any ice or anything. There's a lot of whiskeys that just it's harsh and it's like, but most gins, good gins, I don't like wince when I shoot it.
Wow.
Sorry, it was
Hell yeah.
terrible.
No, that was
great.
Well, again, when I saw you at the Wednesday market, it was the first time I actually shot gin. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, most people are not accustomed to sipping gin.
No, and that's what you told me, and we talked about it, and that's when I even asked you about talking to David to come on here, and I was like, oh my gosh, this gin is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
You're actually right. Like nobody I've never heard of anybody just doing neat gin or gin on the rocks.
Correct.
Like it's just mostly like whiskeys or vodkas, but people don't do vodkas on the rocks either.
Yeah, you see it. You see it
I've
more than
seen-
gin on the rocks for
Exactly.
sure.
I've never in my entire life of going to bars, and I've been going to bars for a while, I've never seen anybody just ask for gin neat or gin on the rocks. Ever. I've never seen anybody do it ever, but I'm gonna start doing that now. Like I'm just gonna be
Sean has ordered gin on.
You're
gin
a bartender, you see it every day. I just
I
go to the
doubt
bar.
they see it every day.
Well, not that every day.
Well,
yeah,
then-
I've had
you-
one person
yeah.
order.
No, you're
gin
right.
on the rocks.
You're right. I mean, I don't get asked like gin on the rocks or
That's-
gin neat norm or gin
Yeah,
shot.
that's the other
Yeah.
question is like, in your lifetime as a bartender, how many times has anybody ever asked for gin on the rocks or gin neat?
I could count to like maybe 50.
Maybe 50.
Yeah.
David.
This is a question for Tommy. Think of all of the kamikazes, pineapple upside down shots, birthday cake shots, like the shots that like green tea shots, like every of those little shots. Do any of them have whiskey or gin? Because like I know the green tea shot is whiskey.
I don't think. Yeah, they don't. Gin doesn't like to
You're
party.
right.
I think it's a more sophisticated.
It is a
spirit.
sophisticated.
Unless you're talking Long Island iced tea.
Is it? Oh, there is gin.
Oh,
on
there
Long
is gin
Island.
in a Long
No,
Island.
no,
means-
but like you're talking about those little shots.
Well,
No, I know. Yeah, he just said he doesn't like to party, and I said
Well,
unless
there's
it's
gin
for
in
Long
Long
Island.
Island, but that means there's also gin in like AMF
Yeah.
or
Long Beach.
Long Beach, or
All the-
Tokyo,
all
or even a
those
Tokyo, or even a
variations.
Tokyo tea.
Mic check. Do any
None of those
party
are
shot, like traditional party shots,
I
have the
can't
base of
think
gin?
Can't think of one.
I can't think of a single one.
That is a very good question.
The base of gin?
That is a very good question. Like, holy shit, I can't
Gin
think of
shots.
it either.
No.
Gin
Yeah.
party shots.
I think I did a sangria once that I put gin in.
Okay.
I could see that.
It was delicious.
Yeah, I could
No, but
totally
see,
see
that's a
that.
substitute though. Like
Well, no, it's not
we're talking
necessarily-
about like mainstream.
It's not necessarily a substitute. So sangria is mostly like wine mixed
Rum.
with like the rum.
Or not rum brandy.
Yeah,
That's what I meant to
brandy,
say.
brandy, and then there's
Typically,
there's
yeah,
like
either
fruit in
or,
there.
yeah,
But then
right.
because there's other quote unquote botanicals, there's fruit in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Throw some gin in. Like I think I did a half a bottle of gin for this. Like
Mike, what you got?
Oh, yeah, I got one for you.
What do we got? What do we got?
So there's just what says simple gin shots with lime.
See, that makes sense in my mind.
Bee's knees cocktail.
Well,
I ate the bee's knees.
We're not talking about the honey gin.
Well, not cocktails.
Yeah, we're not talking about
Are
that.
you just? I mean, I said shots. I simply said.
Party shots. Like there's the theme
And
of
these
party
are.
shots.
I get it. French 75,
yeah, so these are all classic gin cocktails.
Empress gin and jam.
Gin and jam, actually. Sounds good.
If anybody's going to have it, it's going to be.
And again, I did say shots.
Oh yeah, tipsy bartender. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they would have it.
And there you have it.
Oh, you're right. I've just pulled up the tipsy bartender here. There's one called the wet P-word shot. It's one part vodka, one part gin, one
See,
part coconut
but that's
rum,
not
peach schnapps,
dominantly.
pineapple juice, and cranberry juice.
No. See, I'm talking about like gin cocktail shot.
There is an audience motherfucker shot.
No, but I'm
Boom,
pretty sure
got
that's
him.
like all the
AMF?
spirits.
There's an audience motherfucker shot.
Yeah, any one of these, gin is not going to be the primary component. It's
Yeah,
going to
see,
be
I wanna-
a component
yeah.
of a much larger.
You're right.
So, segues to
Party shots
to
with
my
gin.
final thoughts on gin.
Yeah.
And I think when I first got into gin, that was back in like 2014, 15 maybe. But I was on this like weight loss journey, and gin seemed to be like the right spirit. Somebody recommended it to me. I don't know who did. Anyways, I was doing gin and sodas at the bar. And within 2 months, I lost like 15, 20 pounds while working out and all that.
Yeah.
Right? So gin was always like my go-to every time I went out. but it also challenged me as a bartender, which like from customers that would come in, like, what's your favorite gin cocktail? Make me a gin cocktail with, like here and there. It wasn't like constant, like every day, but once a week I'd get somebody to say like, make me a cocktail with gin. And the Negroni is my favorite cocktail, but the first cocktail I've ever made with gin was the Tom Bomb.
Tom Bomb.
And people ask about it here and there, even in Guam, where I'm from. The bar I used to work at, I made this cocktail for a bartending competition, and I got third place for it. I can't remember the day or the year or whatever, but what's in it is, it's weird. It's Tanqueray, it's cranberry juice, fresh lime, there's apple pucker, and blue curacao. The blue curacao I only added mainly for the color, but also like after like making it for years, noticed that the citrus of that orange curacao or the blue curacao fucking made the difference in the cocktail. So gin has challenged me. That's my final thoughts. I love gin. It's so different from any other spirit I've ever had. And would I drink gin neat? Fuck that. But I would drink cold gin, like my friend Nick over here.
Gin is best consumed.
Tommy, I think you're right. Jen was the best girlfriend I ever had. She was really hot. Sorry.
Are we talking about the gin or?
No. Literally. I had a girlfriend named Jen, and she was Puerto Rican. Oh my god.
Oh, you really did?
Yeah.
Oh, her name was Jen.
She's married now.
Not to you?
And now I'm sitting here just lonely in this.
Oh,
stop
it. Anyways, cut that.
I don't
Cut
cut that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm Gen Z.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Fucker.
Boom!
You thought we were safe, right? No, but like, let's get into that.
Well, real quick, I have one last question for Nick since he's here.
Yes.
We're not going to trash any names of brands of gin, but
No, we wouldn't.
But we will.
But
No, we
in
wouldn't.
Nick's opinion, what are some of your least favorite gins that you just like never go by? Like,
In other
not
words-
to say that they're terrible, but just like the ones that you
What
avoid.
gins do you want to trash right now?
What is the trashiest gin?
Oh, trash talk segment?
Oh gosh, guys. I mean, I will just say anything that's in a plastic bottle. Because in a plastic bottle, don't buy it, and that's true for all spirits.
Wait, what's in a...
This comes in a glass bottle too. This is
Okay. I was like,
this is the little bottle.
It was cheap.
This is the little bottle. They're
gonna
they
sponsor
put
us
their
soon.
stuff in glass bottles.
Pretty likes to it.
No,
Pretty
in
likes
general, like if it's sitting on the bottom shelf, stay away from it. That's true for most things. Honestly, I mean, I'm at this point in my life where I preach it all the time. Life's too short to drink bad booze, and by that I mean just like things that like you're not thoroughly going to enjoy. You know, I mean, I want something that like if I'm trying it independently, I'm excited about it independently, even though 9.99 times out of 10 it's going in a cocktail. You know, I'm not drinking it for the sake of drinking it, but if I don't like it as an independent spirit, I'm not going to buy it. I'll try it, and then that'll be the end of it. I'll move on to something else. So there's very few things on my bar cart that I wouldn't, encourage people to give that a whirl. So there's a lot of great.
I feel the same way. Anything on the bottom shelf in the liquor store,
Yeah.
it's made to mix with other things.
Yeah, if
it's
you're throwing a party.
Yeah.
And
it's not-
especially gin. Inexpensive gin is hot and it's super juniper forward. And
What's an expensive? Oh, Gillies.
like just like you said, you're just like you're well gin, bottom shelf gin. There's
McCormick's.
other spirits you can get away with less expensive
McCormick's.
stuff. Gin, McCormick's is a good example. We weren't going to throw anybody under the bus, but anything McCormick's makes.
But McCormick's, it can be used to mix like jungle juice or an AMF.
Honestly, the first
But-
spirit I ever got truly sick on was McCormick's vodka. So McCormick's, I'm sorry.
Shout out
but
to you.
I
got
can't
this
touch your
motherfucker.
stuff with a 10.5 foot pole.
I like it.
Hey, that was a good answer.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, drinks first, y'all.
Hey, why don't we get into our last sipper?
Yeah, we're gonna segue into the last sipper real fast. We're gonna leave the knives away.
Yeah, I did
Not-
not like that.
not-
I did not like that
knife?
last time.
Yeah, I have it. I'm not gonna pull it out.
I did not like that last time.
Why do we have weapons?
Yeah, I don't know.
That seems aggressive.
Can I bring my gun in then?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
I don't have anything in this.
Where's the music? Cue the
Faithful music.
Here we go.
Here we go, last sipper.
Okay, that's good.
All right, drinks first, guys.
Yeah.
Drinks
Okay.
first.
What's the bar?
Drinks first.
Oh, we're done? Okay.
You have a bottle of mono?
Yeah.
Wow.
David,
And,
David, what? Flip something.
Cheese and rice.
Throw stuff?
Flip something.
Have something.
Oh, put some music on.
Dun.
Oh, nope. Hold on. I'm not.
Oh no.
I've got a song. I've got a song he's gonna appreciate here in a second.
There's too much muscle
No,
on there.
that is supposed to be squipped and dropped.
Yes, no, I know. No, I'm talking about your stuff.
Hold
Yeah,
on. We're
whatever. I
gonna
don't think
switch hands.
I think it'll be fun.
Oh yeah,
I was-
extra stuff. I love it.
Well, hopefully that was okay.
That's what they broke.
I broke it.
From the tavern to the speakeasy, hear the tales we spin. Welcome to the podcast where the good times begin.